I just want to thank you for coming on with us because I think you have a great story. You've done a lot for the community. You have impacted many youth over the years of your tenure there, and I know, personally speaking, you've impacted my son and my family, and we appreciate you. And I just appreciate you coming on because this podcast that we do, a lot of it has to do with fitness, mainly. I'm an online fitness coach. I do nutrition and coaching and other things, but the podcast is more about people that are impacting their community, right? People that are doing great things, whether it be a physical transformation, whether it be helping others succeed. And we just want to highlight those people. And you were one of those people that came to my mind just because of the own impact that you had on our lives. So
Oh, and I
I
appreciate
really
that.
want to say thank you for coming on.
And I appreciate
Welcome to the Work Hard People's Podcast. I'm James, the old guy here, and today we have one of my favorite people on the planet, Miss Laverne Cook, who is actually a Chief Warrant Officer, third class in the United States Marine Corps, and also was the leader of the Junior ROTC program at Jefferson Davis High School. And I am so grateful that she has come on with us today because, it's Father's Day today. I mean, I got my, number one dad shirt on, which is cool. The kids are coming over today. They're going to hang out with us. But I have to say that you were just as responsible as I was as bringing my son into manhood. You helped my son uh get to where he needed to be in life. Just you helped him with discipline, respect, all those things. I tried, but it's nice to have that outside influence, and you were able to do that and create an impact in his life, which created an impact in my life. So we love you to death, my wife and I'm very thankful for you to come on. And but first, before we get into the junior ROTC stuff,
that.
I want to get into a little bit of Laverne Cook. So,
Oh,
why the Marine Corps? I
oh
want
wow!
to. What drove you to the Marine Corps?
I tell you, a family full of Army people. All my uncles were Army, and I always knew I was going to do the military route. But I thought I was going to. I had 8 scholarships leaving high school, and I thought I was just going to do the ROTC route, become an officer. And one day I saw a commercial with the Marines. It was of a black guy jumping into some water. And I was like, you know what? At the end, when they had the little dress blues and the swords and all that stuff, I said, you know what? I'm gonna be a Marine.
Hey,
Somebody in my family a Marine.
I was in the Air Force. My brothers are Army. Marines have the best uniforms. Period.
They do. They
They
do.
are all sexy in that uniform. Period.
That's right. And as a little girl, little country girl, you never thought. I never thought I would join the Marine Corps. But Air Force ROTC in high school, and I waited until that last month to tell my mom I'm going to the Marine Corps in October, and she was like, "What?" And I actually went. I trained with my sister and my brother-in-law who were Army at the time. My brother-in-law was a Chief Warrant Officer, so that I
Okay.
already knew I was going to go to Chief Warrant Officer route. And they were stationed at Fort Hood, and I remember going that summer training and running, and everybody that knows me know I like to run. Never as a child, but he got me to love running. And we ran around Fort Hood, which is about, I'm just gonna say it's about 3 miles. And every day I would stop, but he would make me mark where I stopped. And he said, every day you're gonna go further and further past that. And so one day I made it uh around without stopping 3 miles. And I remember that day because he got on to me because colors started playing. And I was just dancing like, yeah, I made it. And he was like, if you don't respect these colors, my brother-in-law got on me so bad that day. But then afterwards, he took me out to eat and all that stuff with my sister, and we celebrated me making it 3 miles. And I tell you, it was by the grace of God that I graduated boot camp. you
Yeah,
know,
that's no
I,
joke. The Marine
I'm
Corps
a
boot
not
camp
typical
is
person.
no joke.
Exactly. So I didn't know what I was getting into until I went. But yeah, that's why I chose the Marine Corps. It was off a commercial.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all. So what did you do at first? Were you what was your first gig in the Marine Corps?
Well, I signed on to I knew what I was going to do before I went, unlike most kids nowadays.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be an administrative clerk. So
Okay.
that's what I did. I was a personnel clerk for about 9 years. And then one day I just decided I'm gonna put in my warrant officer package. And
Okay.
and it was during the time of the first Gulf War, and our unit got hit with deployments. So believe it or not, I wrote my own recommendation. My boss was like, I ain't got time to do it. If you write your recommendation, I will submit it. And so I just made myself, I'm just playing. He read it, but I made myself like walk on water. And matter of fact, I did
Yeah.
everybody recommendation that applied, and we all got it because of my
Yeah.
recommendation. Yeah, so I decided like 9 years in, I'm gonna be an officer. I think it's time to change
Time.
things. Yeah, so
It's time. And so let me ask you this, the transition, what made you decide to go, hey, you know what? I'm done with the Marine Corps as far
mhm.
as, being active in there. And now I want to go raise up these kids. Because like I said, you spent your time at JD turning girls and boys into women and men.
Right.
And I'm not just talking your average men. Men and women, the people that you dealt with are a different breed. And I have met many of those children that have left that school. They started there with you as children and they
Right.
left as women and men, and they are respectful. They are people that want to serve their community, serve their country, do different things. What led you into that transition to go, hey, you know what? I want to build the youth of America?
Well, I think my decision to leave the Marine Corps is more so my kids. I saw my kids every 3 years moving. I saw them making friends and then having to lose the friends. I saw them for 4 years, not being around family when we was over in Okinawa, Japan. We didn't have any family. Thank
Yeah.
God I met one of my childhood friends there. That me and her grew up. Her husband was in the Marine Corps, so she basically raised my son. She worked at the daycare, took care of him personally when I dropped him off. But I think just one day I came back from overseas, and I was in California, and then they were getting ready to move me, because I had already got three, but they said, yeah, you made Chief Warrant Officer 3, you got to move. And they were moving me to Germany originally. And I was like, I do not want to go to Germany. But, I knew some people, my boss man, he helped me out. He was like, look, I can get you a single seat in Meridian, Mississippi. And when I got there, my kids, who are all intelligent, they were in gifted classes and AP classes. So my one daughter, she had 2 weeks to read, to do all this summer work. And so, she cried every day trying to read and catch up. And I said, this is my last move. I'm not doing this to my kids anymore. So I knew, as a matter of fact, when I got there, me being the personnel officer, I put in my own retirement paper. I dropped my papers the month after I got to my last duty station. So I can't put
Okay.
my kids through this. But as far as teaching, I never thought about teaching. I always wanted to. I'm a big investor. At that time, I was invested in a track and field team that never developed into anything. But I was one of the 21 members of a South Carolina track and field team, something that my son's father started, that we were trying to, say, hey, this is one
Yeah.
sport we do not have, a professional league in. So let's start this. And it just never developed into anything, but I put a lot of money into it. So I was always a big investor. I always knew I wanted to have my own businesses or business. So I never thought about teaching until one day I was in Meridian, Mississippi, a single seater, we call it, because I'm the only Marine officer there. And a guy comes in and it's a schoolhouse, and he's bringing a Marine for school. And he said, I'm a JRROTC instructor. I said, JRROTC instructor, what's that? And I had an ROTC instructor, and I'm acting dumb at
Yeah.
this moment. And he said, yeah, I'm out of some part of Mississippi. And he said, yeah, JRROTC instructor. He said, it's a hidden secret. You should think about doing it. And the next day I applied. I did the 6-page application. 2 weeks later, I got approval, and just was blessed that somebody pointed me to First Sergeant Johnson. I'm telling you, you talk about your son, and you talk about, him becoming a man. I think it's more so to do with First Sergeant Johnson. That guy, I'm telling you, he could run for mayor and probably get it because he is outstanding, awesome.
I'm
I'm
gonna
telling
be honest with you. It's both of you, and Chris always talked highly of both of you. But this is what I noticed more than anything. My son was always a very caring, giving
you.
young man. He always was the kind of person that tried to treat people with respect. But the tutelage that he got under you and First Sergeant as well, my wife and I, we watched that change. We watched him go from boy to man under y'all's tutelage. And
Mhm.
it was impressive. You know what? In fact,
Mhm.
Laverne, we kind of have a special guest for you. We're going to bring him in right here. We're going to bring him in right here. Come on in. So here's this young man right here
Y'all about to
who
make me cry. Look at you, Chris. Look at you, all slim and handsome. Look at you.
is
Well, look, you had already
stunning.
lost weight. Uh, the day
But
you came
no,
up.
I'm telling you right now, you guys, we watched that metamorphosis, and
Mhm.
it was something special to watch. And I know that he wasn't the only one. I watched so many of the youth that you guys had your hands on
Yeah,
become great members of this community and serve our country. And that takes that. It's hard to even say the words. That takes something. You don't touch youth. Not anybody can do that. Not anybody can just say, "Hey, I'm going to go do this and make a difference." Because the
Mhm.
kids know who genuinely care about them, and the kids know the people that are invested in their future. And you guys were that.
Right. And I never thought I was. It took, if I had 100 Christopher Gilbert, I'm gonna call him by his full name. If I had 100 of them, I would probably still be doing JRROTC. I didn't realize the impact I was making until one day, the little Chris Gilberts will come down and be like, we on lockdown, and somehow they low crawl through the hallways to get to us and say, Chief Warrant Officer, can I stay down here with you guys? And they would never ask first sergeant. And I would just be like, yeah, y'all can stay. And the 1 year I had him for 2 periods, right, Chris? I think I had you 2 periods. I had him for regular class, and then I had him for like a government class. And we didn't do nothing in that class. We just chill. But it's because I enjoyed them. And that's what people say, the kids, I don't understand. It's not the teachers that's really impacting the kids. For me, it was the kids impacting me. They made me want to come to work every day. And like I said, since COVID, the kids have changed. I don't know if they drank the water, got the shots, or whatever. I don't know what it is. But if I could get 100 more or 200, because we had 202 kids this year. But if I could have got 202 of Chris Gilberts or Vanessa Jenkins or Angel Simmons or you name them, if I could have got 100 of them, I would still probably be instructing today. I probably would.
But
So it is.
for me, first of all, as a parent, and also, I spent some time in youth leadership myself, right? I counseled some young men at our church. I also was their Boy Scout leader. We did lots of different things. And I learned very early on, if you are not a genuine human being, if you are not a genuine adult that is truly engaged in the children, they're not going to connect with you. They're not going to listen to you. They're
Mm-mm.
not going to take what you have to say as fact. Nothing. But you did not have that problem. At least I know with my son, and I know a few others, and I know some of those names that you mentioned because Chris has talked about them,
Mhm,
and they are good young adults in
mhm,
in our society, people that are going to make this world a better place. And that's because you genuinely cared about them. And it's one of the things I'm telling you, my wife and I, we talk, sorry, it it gets me too because my wife and I, we talk about you often fondly.
mhm.
You impacted our family in a way that not many people could. Our oldest daughter, we had our first grandchild. We moved out here to be back. Chris wound up at JD. It was a tough environment for him, as you can
Yes.
imagine,
Mhm.
and you helped him thrive. How do you repay that? We can't. We
Yeah,
cannot repay that.
and I fondly remember meeting you for the first time because had met your wife before. You know, used to run into your wife all the time out if I'm shopping and stuff. So had met your wife, and then when the incident happened with you, and I saw you, you know, out and you were in Walmart. That's where I met you, and it's after. I was just like, how did this man recover from this so fast? You know, and I saw your son come to school every day with that burden. And he didn't let it get to him. He never once said, Chief Warrant Officer, I need to leave class because I need to go cry a little bit or something. He never did that. I never saw him do that. And then when I met you, I saw you in Walmart, I was like, how is this guy back out doing this? So I know where he gets it from. And like,
I learned that was like the worst 15 seconds and the best 15 seconds of my life.
Yeah.
Because I learned a few things, right? The first thing I learned was that Christ has changed my life. I learned that even in that instantly, I was wanting to forgive and hoping that individual was okay. The last thing I wanted to do was take that person's life, and I'm glad that individual lived. The second thing I learned was the man my son was. Because the things that he did in those 15 seconds, the way he took care of his mother, knowing that his dad's shot and on the ground and all this stuff, he could have handled it a million different ways, but he handled it like a man.
Right.
And he had courage and strength. And those things, I'm telling you right now, those things still to this day impact my heart. Right. They make me know that, hey, he's going to be a good guy. He's going to be okay. He's got good people around him. And I think a lot of that comes back to you as well, and the strength that you have given him, and not just him, but all of the youth that you have worked with. Whether they recognize it or not, whether they accepted it at the time, there's going to come a time where the lessons and messages that you taught them are going to impact their lives. Right. And for that, we are truly grateful, not just for your service to this country, but to your service to our youth.
Right. And I hope I left the impact, and I get it. I go out every day and I run into somebody that say Chief Warner, and they say by any word, not by any means the best student, or they got out, but they just say, I remember what you and First Sergeant did for us, and thank you. And even if I get it later on, my goal when I signed on there was to touch at least one child a year. And I had parents that would come cuss me out. I had parents that would threaten to kill me, but I used to tell the principal, I said, you know what? I got 300 kids. At one time we had 300 kids in the program. I got 300 kids and one parent is upset. I like those odds. You know what I'm saying? That means I'm doing, my job. I'm doing something right. I never treat them like kids. Chris will tell you, I say sir and ma'am to everybody. Is respect goes both ways. They were always sir and ma'am. Well, First Sergeant, they were knuckleheads. So with me, they were, I always addressed them as such because I wanted to get them into the role that, you guys are, you're going into manhood, womanhood here. And I think for me is it didn't start with the kids. I've done this with my Marines. I've been a leader, before I became an officer. When I became a corporal, that the Marine Corps recognized you as a leader. And so I had to take care of my people, and I had to treat my people and teach my people and discipline my people. But I did it all with love, so I'm just appreciative to everybody, even the people. I think, Chris, were you one that at the ball? Did you send me a video message?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, he said, I got all my messages, but I'm just appreciative of all the kids and the nice thing they said. And I said to myself, why y'all didn't tell me this? What I was saying, I'm just playing. It's like, why y'all didn't tell me this? What I said, but no, it's just to reach out and see how much you touch people. I'm grateful every day to have made an impact. And so,
well, that group you created, I mean, they still talk. These
Yeah,
kids
I know they're
they're
groupie
still,
buddies.
they still talk. They still lift each other up.
Yeah, the boys still have the group chat going from like 10th grade or something like that. So
Oh, okay. So who's in the group chat?
um,
Like the Atkins, y'all know where Atkins and all them?
Atkins isn't in it, but I mean, it's me and Asbury and Alford, and I think
Oh, okay.
I think Tommy's in there. Legarian is Riley Davis.
Okay. And it's amazing that, you know, Chris, y'all graduated in 2018,
Not 2020. COVID hit
2021,
2020.
2020. Oh, y'all were COVID babies. Y'all had y'all graduation at
Yeah.
Danley.
I wasn't
That's
even there.
That's right.
y'all had y'all graduation at Danley.
Well, that's what it was. I wasn't there though. I was in Vegas. So
Oh, you was in, you didn't come. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
no, we shipped him out to his grandma's
That's
house.
that's why I said that's the last group of kids that act sane, because after COVID, I don't know what happened to these babies. But yeah, then we spent the next 2 years online. So yeah, okay, so 2020. But yeah, that's good that you guys are tight and stuff. And where did we take you, Gilbert? Where did you go camp?
we went to Fort Bennett.
So he went to Fort Bend and he had that
Yeah.
experience. That's what we try to do. You know, somebody like an Angel Simmons, I took her to a Marine Corps camp, and that was her first time on a plane. So things like that, getting the kids exposed to certain things, that was what I really wanted to
He
do.
was,
That's
I'm telling you right now, he was gung ho. He was ready to go into the military. He
yeah.
was prepared. He had also, he was actually going to go in the Army. He was
Mhm.
set up for the Green to Gold program. His ASVAB score was really high. Everything was
Yep.
great. And then the doctor found a pituitary tumor
Mhm.
and they wouldn't clear his medical. So, uh, the tumor isn't growing. It's not an issue. It just, messing with some stuff. But so now he's the commercial sales guy for advanced automotive. So I mean,
Now I sell parts to shops.
he's still working. He's working hard.
Oh,
And guess what else he just did?
don't
Boy
tell me
just
you got
got his
married.
insurance license.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. So I thought
So
you
yeah.
said he got married. I was like, no, I can't take it, my baby
No,
boy.
not yet. He's close. He's
He's close. I
close.
know. It's coming.
He's
It's
very
coming.
close. But he did. He just passed his state insurance exam. Because
Okay.
I do insurance as well. So he's
Okay.
gonna work with his dad a little bit part time while he still does
What
his
kind of
auto parts
insurance
stuff.
do you do? Life?
Yeah,
What?
life, health, annuities, retirement, mortgage
Yeah,
protection.
I might be your first customer then.
Oh, you should. You should.
I
I
say
need
now
some.
he's
I need
going
some
into
life
real estate.
insurance.
No. We do a lot of different things, and we work with very top rated. I mean, Mutual of Omaha,
Hmm.
AIG,
Yeah.
American Amicable. I mean, we have great companies that we have access to, and we actually have some exclusive products that nobody else gets access to. So,
Okay.
it
Okay. Well,
just because of our relationship with them. So, but yeah, absolutely, we'd love to sit old Chris down with you.
yeah. I need some life. I'm being serious. I do need more
Yeah.
life insurance. So now
No,
that I'm not employed anymore,
no,
so
yeah, we
I
have
have
we have
some.
some great program, and we even have some universal life products that actually right now are some of them are paying 5%.
Okay.
So
I'll
yeah,
hook you up.
Okay. Yeah. I want to be your first customer
oh
first.
gosh,
See,
we'll get you, and I'll make sure he does it right. I first got licensed in the early 2000s. I was a vice president of investments for J.P. Morgan Chase.
Mhm.
Um, so I did that whole thing. I'm very good at financial planning, and my focus was always, which also reminds me of you, because my focus was always the clients come first, no matter
Right.
what. And
Mhm.
I recognized that with you early on when I first was even hearing, before I even met you.
Mhm.
Your kids come first, period.
Right. They did.
It's not about you. It's not about first sergeant. It's not about that school. It's about those kids and making sure that now, discipline, yes.
Mhm.
Punishment, yes.
Mhm.
But they come first. You made
Right.
sure they had the tools to be successful. And I'm telling you, it's one of the things that Kim and I, we love you to death for that very reason. And not just for our own son, for the people that he was surrounded with, the
Right.
kids he was surrounded with that absorbed that same information.
Right. We're grateful that you got to have a good group of people, before COVID happened. But I think it's like myself and First Sergeant being, the mom and dad when they're at school, keeping them on track. Because, First Sergeant I know is good. He'll go out there like, I wonder what Gilbert's grades look like. He'll say, pull them up, ma'am. And I'll pull
It
them
was
up.
good.
And they were good, but he'd be like, I'm going to talk to this teacher. Because he'll go talk, and Gilbert can verify it. He'll go talk to the kid's teacher. And he's good about doing that. Even I'm good about it. I'll be like, you know what? We're just doing nothing. We're not really doing anything today. Go up to your other teacher and get use this time for that. So I really looked at the kids, I'm telling you, as my own kids.
Yes.
And that's
you
what
have
made it.
to.
You have
to when you're working with kids. You have to look at them as your own. And I can tell you this too. The most upset Chris ever was at home was when he felt like he disappointed you or First Sergeant. I'm telling you right now, if he screwed up and he would come home, it was not good. He was, son, what's wrong? I can't even name a specific situation, but I did this and I shouldn't have, and ma'am was mad at me, or First Sergeant was mad at me, and that was the most disappointed you would ever see on his face. Okay,
you got the example, because I was trying to think of one, because you really never.
We were, and it wasn't pertaining to you exactly. It was more First Sergeant for this one, but like, because we had our drill team, and there'd be the year that I was over the drill team that year, they weren't getting it, and First Sergeant would kind of lay into me a little bit about it, and it just pissed me off, because like, why can't I teach these kids?
Yeah, he'd come home, man. He'd be like,
and it was just one of those things that I had to sit there and I caught myself doing it. I was pissed at him. Why is he yelling at me? It's not me messing up. And it was, hey, he's getting in me because I'm the one that's supposed to be teaching these kids.
That's right.
You're the leader.
So,
You're the leader.
I caught it pretty quick, on why he was digging into me for it. But that's one of the things I'd come home so mad, that he had to get into me about it.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things that I realized that I caught pretty quick, why he was doing it. So.
And that's our biggest thing we try to tell you guys. Leadership is the art to influence. And if people grasp that, you can understand why the worst person on the street selling drugs can influence people, because that's what it is. It's just the art to who you can influence. So when we're yelling at you, we expect you to, because you're the leader, and that's what, I made all the big dollars in the Marine Corp, but I got the most butt chewings, because I got called on the red carpet by the CEO, Chief Verne Cook, why was this person drinking and driving? Did you not do a safety brief? Did you not make yourself available? I got in trouble. So that's why I made the big money when I was in the Marine Corps, because, I got in trouble a lot, and we wanted to instill that into you guys. We know y'all wasn't in the military, but we was, everything we taught you, you could use in the civilian world. You could take every element that we taught you. There's not one, we didn't, you say you still remember today?
Well,
the shops you get, you tell me, man, that bearing is something else.
A true leader will feel responsible for those that they're leading.
Yeah.
Right.
They will shoulder that blame. They want to be the one. They want to be the one in front. Yeah, there's a little ego there, and ego can be a good or a bad thing, but there's a little ego there. You want to be the one in front, but if you're going to do it, you need to take hold of the responsibility as well for all those that are below you, right?
Right.
You need to be willing to eat that humble pie.
You really do. And remember, I told you the buck stops with you, so anything that went wrong in that program before the end of this month is still my responsibility. Things that don't get done, it's still my responsibility. So, as a leader, you got to be willing to, like your dad said, shoulder that burden. So yeah, we look, we're so blessed that you learned at least something from us, other than knucklehead. One monkey don't spoil the show, because that was First Sergeant saying, and whatever else he did to y'all, I could just remember one incident with Gilbert. I don't even know if Gilbert remembered this incident, that we had a cadet that went into the cami room and took a pair of PT shorts. Took the shorts instead of just asking, can I borrow a pair of PT shorts? I think I got onto all of them, and I don't even know what company were you in charge of at your last year?
Charlie, I think, if I remember correctly.
Okay, I don't know what it was, but I remember getting on. I remember just Gilbert just putting his head down because that was really the only time I had to get on them. I was like, y'all don't have to steal, like, for what? And then y'all know the cadet stole, so why?
Yeah.
So, but it was just that. I never really had to get on to him. He was never disrespectful. I don't even know if he ever had to push from first sergeant. I can't remember. If he did, it was a group thing. All the whole group was doing it. But they were just a good group of kids. And I used to take them doing volunteer stuff. I know they probably talked about being squished in my little small car, my little small Mercedes. But then when I realized, I think it was one time I said, Gilbert, you gonna drive. I think we went over to the school. I said, Gilbert, you gonna drive. Because I know Gilbert was tired of being squished up in my car. The other kids. So I said, Gilbert, yeah, I said,
I still
just drive.
remember when you sent us on a witch hunt. Do you remember when you sent us on a witch hunt?
Where'd y'all go? Where'd I see?
There was a cadet running around the school with she had her braids down and she was wearing slides.
Oh,
yeah.
And we told you about it. We told you about it, and we were like, we'll go get her for you. We searched the whole school in 5 minutes, and then brought her down. And yeah, that was a fun day.
Yeah, I said, y'all go find her. They were telling me about it. I was like, what? Y'all didn't bring her to me? But I said, go find her. And I have the little girl, she had on the slides and her hair down. She was getting comfy. I think she was in this Mac room, but it was funny. Yes,
That's
they did.
funny.
They went on hunts for me. Yes.
That's good.
And
That is good.
Gilbert, our fun time when me teaching y'all how to play magic. I still remember. None of the kids want to play magic.
That was the game, man.
That was a game. We had a tournament for that.
That's
I don't
good.
know if it was illegal.
There was a tournament. Didn't matter what we were doing. Where's the magic table at?
Yeah, we was playing magic.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just for the record, it was not an illegal game. No money was involved. It was a game to use your mind.
Rights.
Yeah.
Just bragging rights.
Well, hey, I got my kids coming over here. I'm sure you have a busy day, and I just want to say, Kim and I, from the bottom of my heart, we love you. We are so grateful for you and all that you have done for our family. And it's a joy to follow you on Facebook and see your own family accomplishing great things. I know your son just graduated, right?
Son just graduated. I got a daughter working at a prison right now. That scared me.
Doing great things.
Yeah.
It's awesome to see. And I, for one, I just want to say I am thankful that there are people like you in this world. People that are willing to take on the crap of the world and make it better. Because that's what you do. Sometimes these kids, man, they can be mean, terrible human beings. And you have found a way to flip that switch in them and make them be productive.
Well, I hope I have.
None of us can do all. But your character, the person you are as a human being, I appreciate people like you. And I am very grateful. I'm very thankful that you came on. I'm very grateful for the impact that you've had on my own son, as well as his friends and those around him. I just truly want to thank you.
Okay, and I appreciate you guys. I love you guys too. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. If you ever need me, Chris, or you ever need me, I'm always here for you. I mean, I don't care what role I'm playing. I could be the little old lady at bingo. I don't go to bingo, but I'm still here for you. I was just trying to think what old people do. Yeah. Knitting, the old lady knitting. I'm here for you.
Hey,
but
my grandma played bingo. It's all good.
Yeah, I wish I could get into it. Yeah, but I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate you sharing your son with me for 4 years.
Our pleasure.
I don't think I take one.
No.
It was always fun. It was always fun.
But really, thank you so much for coming on. And those of you that follow us, please continue to like and subscribe. Follow Laverne. You just started your business. What's that business you're doing? You're doing crafts?
The name is going to change, but it's This and That Crafts.
Yeah.
LLC. So I'm in the process of revamping the whole thing, but
when you revamp it, send me some stuff. I'll put it up on our stuff as well to promote that. And remember, Y'all get out there and work hard, peoples. And what do I like to say, son?
Don't forget.
Don't forget to smile. Thanks so much for watching or listening. Remember, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can find us on Facebook at Work Hard Peoples LLC or Instagram at Work Hard Peoples LLC. You can also find us on our website at workhardpeoples.com. Have a great day or night. Don't forget to smile.